onto my computer. Okay. So it is so exciting. This month has been so fun. So many amazing things have happened this month. I wanted to do a shout out to Amanda, who promoted to Superstar Consultant at the beginning of the week. Her team, Coffee and Kindness, is rocking it out this month. It's so much fun to watch. And I have Teresa O'Brien, who promoted to Certified Consultant, and she's super close to double promoting this month. So she's like super close to promoting to lead, which is super exciting. And I'm going to go through, because we have several people right now that are paid at title, and it's just super exciting to watch. As you guys know, like this time of year is like crazy busy, but also crazy fun too. So our top 10 PRV up to this point right now is we have Amanda with 5,830, because, you know, she's awesome this month and every month. I cannot wait to hear what she has to say tonight. Melissa is at 3,122. Jen Meads is at 2,477. Cinnamon Stanley is 2,145. Kim Pasquale, gosh, she told me how to pronounce her name last week. I'll say Kim P. She knows who she is. She's at 1,621. Becky Jones is at 1,367. Kim Milosevic is at 1,336. Regina is at 1,336 as well, but Kim Milosevic is at 1,336.66. So there's like 66 PRV between the two of them. It's so funny. It's awesome. And Nicole Faircloth is 1,130. And Dina Irwin is at 921. And Teresa O'Brien is at 822. And Dina Irwin is paid at title this month, her title of lead consultant. Melissa is super close to being paid at title. It's so exciting. So close. And then we have some amazing things happening as far as like announcements. So if you have not been able to log onto your workstation today, I know that the news tab was kind of wonky earlier. I always hate when the news tab is wonky because it makes you feel like you're going to miss out on something, especially right now. So Mike and Sully did go on pre-sale today, pre-order for anybody that missed out on getting them on Monday. Those are available to pre-order while supplies last until November 28th. And then those will not be available to complete their order until early June. So make sure that as you're sharing that you're letting your customers know exactly when they're going to be available to complete their order. That way they're not expecting them in time for Christmas, okay, because they won't be in. And then on Monday, today also the NHL, for those NHL warmers that sold out, those warmers are available for pre-sale right now. She said, Pasquet. Oh, thank you. Pasquet wall. Thank you, Melissa. I have to take off my glasses to see my notes, but then when I put my glasses on, I can't see the computer. So I'm like,
she's on now.
Oh, I saw her. I see.
Pasquale. I remembered it with a "w" sound.
Pasquale. Okay.
Pasquale.
Kim, I was trying to figure out how to say your last name again because I just shouted you out. So I know now. Pasquale. Okay. Thank you. Is that right? Thumbs up, Pasquale?
Pasquale, like a wall.
Okay. Perfect. I will remember next time. Right on. Okay. So today the NHL warmers that were sold out are now in pre-order. And then also today the World Tour launched, and World Tour is a mini training, like a mini Sensei convention. It's a 2-hour event. It is $22 with a they're calling it a spirit kit. So it's like a lanyard, a booklet, and a name tag, I think it is. That is $22, but if you just want to go to the training, then that is $11. So that registration goes through the oh gosh, I forget. I think it's the 6th of November. Melissa, will you do me a favor? Will you look up when World Tour registration ends? Because I totally spaced it. But anyway, you have some time to pre-register. You can do that in your events tab. on your workstation. And if you've registered for events before, when I went on today to register, it looks different. So I was kind of confused. So just know when you log in, it will look a little bit different. I am so surprised, but the Villains Warmer is still available. So make sure that if you have anybody that maybe you see over the next couple of days that might be interested in that, make sure you're reaching out to them. I did see in the product status list that they, it looks like they might have gone on back order for a hot minute, but those will be available until or starting the 26th to start shipping. Okay, Melissa said $22 until the November 4th. So if you're going for the Spirit Kit, November 4th, and if you're just doing the $11 kit, then you'll have until November 5th to register. Thank you so much, Melissa. And then the NFL warmers will release on Monday between 9:30 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which in general I find is right around 10 a.m. So make sure that if you are collecting pre-orders, that you're setting your customers up for the fact that those may sell out. But if you do have people that are wanting those will release on Monday. So I personally have sent out an email and done all that stuff, hopefully to remind my customers that they are available. So you're welcome to do that as well. Those will release on Monday. I think that is everything that is new. Some of the holiday stuff is starting to sell out. So make sure that if you have any customers that you think may be interested in that you're kind of putting an urgency on them, because we never know when those are going to sell out. Okay, so those are starting to sell out fast. And with that, I am actually going to turn it over to tonight's speaker, who in my original email, I said it was me, but I lied. It's Amanda. So Amanda is going to share with us some of her top tips for ways that she's working her business right now. And I hope that you guys are ready with some pens and paper and your drinks, because Amanda's going to share with us right now. So Amanda, if you could unmute yourself.
I think I did, right? You can hear me, yes?
I can hear you. Yep, I'm going to mute
hear
myself, okay? Just so I don't, if my dogs start barking or something. So you have the floor, girly.
Okay, and so Michelle asked me, and I was like, she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. So like many of you, I do a smorgasbord of things. So I'll share with you some of the things I am doing, but truth be told, besides being thankful and consistently thankful, like with my customers, that's my biggest thing that I'm consistent with. Everything else, it's kind of, I go as the flow. But those, that one thing, I'm very thankful to them, like via thank you cards. I post that I'm thankful. I check in. Thank you so much. Just for, oh, hi Dallas, my dog just came in. But I did write down some scrabble, some notes to help. And so the last couple of parties that I've been able to book were people that just wanted to borrow my testers. So they were local and they're like, no, I don't want to host a party. I just want to borrow your testers. I'm like, okay. And then I persuade in person. So then when I get there, I'm like, hey, it's the holiday season. People want to shop anyway. I'm like, I don't know anybody that doesn't shop for the holidays. My brother's an atheist and he shops for the holidays. So I'm like, come on. I'm like, what is it going to hurt? You can just throw a Facebook party. You can stay in your pajamas. Like, I mean, worst case scenario, you just order what you were going to order anyway, right? So I've kind of persuaded them that way. And then my last party, I have to tell you guys a really good story about that, because she decided to throw a bingo party. So the way I'm doing my bingo parties is they can get 5 numbers, 1 through 75, just for showing up. And then I do guessing games, like guess the scent or guess how many scent circles are in this shape. And then if they guess first, then they get 2 extra numbers when we play bingo. So they don't have to purchase anything. It's a way to keep them entertained. And then I play that for 5 days. And then of course I do bingo, I do 3 rounds, and I show my favorite Scentsy stuff. Personally, I love bingo. And the reason I like it is, number 1, it's competitive, and I'm competitive. And number 2, it gives me the most time that they're really paying attention because they want to win bingo, and I get to show all my stuff. So I really do like bingo. Also, I play cutthroat with them. So first person to call bingo gets the bingo. I only play 3 rounds. The prizes, because we can't disclose, it really does depend on the size of the party and if they're local. If they're local, I do give them a bigger prize. If they're not, I send them a scent circle or a little sample pack or something like that. But the bingo parties have been pretty successful. I have, of course, had parties where no one shows up for bingo, including the hostess. So it happens. If you don't think it happens to everyone. For that, what I did was I'm like, well, then I'm going to go over my top 5 favorite products right now. And so I talked to myself for about 15 minutes, and that was that. That was not a successful party at all, but we all have them. I have one. I've decided that I get one every month. So now I just kind of am prepared for it. There's always going to be one that just fails, and that's fine. That's just part of it. The other thing I did was just a holiday shopping party, especially because all the holiday stuff came out and I was so excited about it. In that one, she's like, I don't want to play bingo. I'm like, okay. So I did 2 lives. I do a live and I talk about the scent and the warmer of the month. I do that at the very, very beginning of the party. I like lives because I feel like they can kind of get to know me and who I am. And so I like that, and I like them to pop on and ask questions. I try to be really interactive that way. And then later on in the party, I go on and I do my top 5 gifts for the holidays under $30. So I tell them when I'm going to go live, and I do that. So my top 5 gifts, in case you're wondering, are I talk about the mini warmer and the wax. So I pick a mini warmer. I always pick one that's not sold out at the time. Okay, because I did have one that my favorite wax was the dancing sugar plums, but it was sold out. So then I had to reverse and pick one that wasn't, because I'm not going to share something that they can't buy. So that's my number 1. And then I share the sugar scrubs and a Scentsy soak as a little bundle. So that's number 2. And then I share the mini fan and a pack of pods. That's number 3. And then, of course, our fragrance flowers, because I just absolutely love them. I think they're beautiful. And they're good for anybody likes a good gift under $20. And now that we have the bundled buy 3 for $45, that's just awesome. And then I do the bathroom cleaner and the room spray, because those are my go-tos in my bathroom. I always call the room spray my marriage saver. No one needs to know what happens, and it takes that stuff away. So I always talk about that. But those are my top 5 gifts under $30. So I share those. People can ask questions at that time, but that's what I do for my holiday ones. For the NHL warmers, I was so stinking excited. Number 1, hockey is my sport. It is my jam. It is cold and I love the night. So it was very easy for me to go on and have some passion about that. And then I happen to know a couple season ticket holders. So I gave them a link, and I'm like, hey, if you know hockey fans, share this link with them. And then when they buy the warmers from you, you'll get the hostess credit. So I had 3 successful parties just by sending out the links. So that worked out really, really well. And it was really cool. They're like, I just have to text them my link. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, here's what you should say. I gave them a little script. I'm like, okay, remind your people tomorrow. They're going to launch. And they did. And so that went really, really well. Also, the personal shopping link. That's how I got Regina. Regina did not want to host a party for me, but she kept buying. So I gave her her own personal shopping link, and then she hit 500 in like 3 weeks. And I'm like, okay, clearly you love Scentsy and people around you love Scentsy. Why don't you just join my team? I've never met Regina in person. So her and I have only talked on the phone, but she loves Scentsy. She's a go-getter. Obviously, she's a total rock star. So that's kind of how I coached her in. And then she just kind of followed my lead on what I've been doing. And I've been trying to share with my team on my group page, Coffee and Kindness. Oh, and then I have my consistent. I'm consistently thankful. Oh, and I work my business every single day. Every day. I do something. I post, I send a little thank you, I check in with people. Hey, did you try that sugar scrub? I have one, I haven't opened it, what'd you think? And I just consistently talk about it or do something to promote my business. Even though with school, we're virtual, which is a little crazy. So I'm a counselor by day, but as soon as I'm done at 2:30, I am a Scentsy consultant, and I try to work my business as much as I possibly can. It's hard sometimes, but with the holiday season, I just feel like the getting's good right now. We really have to push people. And also with the online shopping, people want to shop small. It makes them feel good. Like they're supporting my family, which people like to shop small, and people like the shipping right now. People don't really want to go to malls and that kind of thing. Even crafters, like people are still kind of scared. So the fact that I'll do contact-free drop-offs and they can order and support people is a really big deal right now, I feel. So I am all about the Facebook parties. I'm going to try to keep those going as much as possible. I even talked to Michelle about a couple ideas because I do get bored and I want to mix it up. But Facebook parties are my jam. And then like you guys, you have kids. I don't like leaving my son to go do home parties, but that's just me. I really don't. It bothers me. So the fact that he can stay downstairs and play with his, neighborhood friends and I can do my business upstairs is the best thing that works for me. So I'm going to try to work on the Facebook parties as much as I can. Oh, another thing I do is whenever somebody orders off those parties, I instantly send them a message like, hey, thank you so much for your order. Do you want to join my VIP group? So that's how I've been getting more VIPs, because I used to wait to thank them until they got their order, but then frankly, I would forget and then I'd lose track. Like, did I invite you? I'd have to look up my group. So now as soon as they order, I thank them and invite them. I have tried the party pack thing. Truth be told, I can't tell if it works or not. I don't know. I've tried different ways. I tried it where I had them tell me if they wanted a party pack, where I'm like, okay, top 5 people, send me a PM. Sometimes I have 5 send me, sometimes I have 0. And then I tried okay, you tell me your VIPs and I'll send them a party pack. Well, then they did that. So I mail out these party packs, but those people still don't have contact from me yet. And then it was weird. I don't know. That part I don't like. But I always send my hostess, because I have like a hostess right now in Idaho. I always send them a party pack. So I send them a bunch of the little felt samples. So these ones came, we had those little mystery bags over the summer. So these ones came in the mystery bag. I make my own labels. I don't know if you guys can see them. My light's kind of bright, but I make my own labels sometimes, or of course, I love the stickers if you can get them. And then I do what Michelle does with the felt. So they don't have to be fancy, but I like these ones because where we live, it's hot. And even if they melt, they go back in the felt. So I'll send them like 7 to 10 samples. I will, and these are for my hostess. I'll send them a little catalog. I do have some scratch and sniff. I do not have all of them, but I do have a few of them. And then I'll send them some samples of whatever I have, but I'm consistently inconsistent with what I send them. I kind of send them whatever I have. If I have Scentsy Soak samples, I send them to them. If I have body samples, that's what they get. But I definitely send that to my hostess and encourage them to share. Of course, I tend to get more sales if they have the testers, but I have had other parties in different regions, which is kind of fun. I like that. And then virtually, again, is the bomb for that, because I'm like, oh, you want to throw a party in Boston? I got you. Let's play bingo. Let's do that. And that's also how I got one of my new teenies to join. She did live in Vegas, but now she lives in Boston. Another thing I do in my VIP group, which has worked really well, is when I get something that I'm excited about, I go on live at that moment and I share. One of the holiday warmers, the Melt My Heart warmer, the coffee mug looking one, I didn't know how cute it was until I got it. And so I immediately went on, I'm like, okay, I'm having warmer envy. Let me show this to you. And I'm like, it's so cute. I got the Starry Christmas, and now I had to get the other one because he was adorable. The little marshmallow / snowman. I don't know what he was, but he was so stinking cute. And his arms moved. I don't know if you guys saw him, because his arms, like, I thought they were going to break off, truth be told, but they don't. They kind of move. And I sold 5 of them from my live because I'm like, it's so cute, like you have to have it. And so that's been helping me too. But it has to be something I'm passionate about, and lucky for me, I love Scentsy. I love it. It brings joy to my life, and it has really added more, and that's when I've started sharing more. So Melissa knows, I talked to Melissa last year, and she was telling me how much she talks to people about joining. And I was so envious of you, Melissa, because I'm like, how does she do that? I have not asked people to join my team until March. That's when I started asking. So I'm over 2 years, and I just started getting the guts that you've had the whole time, Melissa. So we live and we learn, but you did inspire me, because she's like just so bold. And I just ask, and I'm like, yeah, how do you do that? But it does help to ask and to share. And because I'm to a point where Scentsy is such a blessing, over the summer, long story short, my dog had cancer removed off his ear, and he had to have 2 different surgeries, and it was close to $2,000 worth of vet bills, of which my family did not have, but I had my Scentsy money. And when I could pull out my Scentsy card and use it, it was a game changer for me, because my husband's like, well, where are we going to take that out of? I'm like, hold on. I have my Scentsy money. I can use my Scentsy money for the love of my life, my soulmate, my dog. I love my dog. Like he's my, yeah, no, he's my soulmate. I love him. So it was a game changer for me. And so I am sharing now because it is a blessing. And I'd always hear people say that, and I'm like, that's such a cliche, but it's true. So it's not a cliche for me anymore. So now that it's genuine, it's easier for me to share. So I do have some teamies, which is shocking. Michelle's like, oh, you have teamies. I'm like, I'm asking. So, hey, and then I'm doing the party kit, like at the end when they're a host. I'm like, well, either you can join my team for this, or you can get this in free product. So I share with almost everyone. Not everyone. Not everybody's ready to be a business owner and share Scentsy. But some are just really, really good hosts. Oh, but the thing I wanted to share with you guys, which was so sweet. So one of my last party hosts, one of her good girlfriend gave her the angel wings warmer because her 17-year-old daughter passed away in March. And so she gave her this angel wings warmer, and then she got it. She's like, well, now I need wax. So her friend bought her some wax. Well, she's like, I don't know what she likes. I'm like, give me her number. I'll help her. So I called and I'm like, hey, do you want to smell my testers? And she's like, yeah, that would be great. She's like, I live too far away. I'm like, where do you live? She's like, Providence. I'm like, yeah, I know exactly where you live. I live in Providence. And then she'd send me her street address. Ironically, I sold a house in her neighborhood 2 houses down from where she lived. So we're very connected. So I go and I drop it off, and she is telling me how her daughter passed away in March, and how every morning she gets up and turns on her warmer and talks to her warmer because it reminds her of her daughter. And it's her first Scentsy warmer. She's never had a Scentsy warmer before. And she's like, it means something to me. I'm like, we have to throw you a party. You have to host a party. You need Scentsy in your life. Let's just try. So she invites people. I don't remember the amount of people, but the love and support, you could tell that her friends had been waiting for a way to show her some support, and they did it through her party. That girl sold like $1,100, which was awesome for her because she doesn't have any Scentsy except that one warmer. And she's like, I can't believe it. But I could tell that it was their way of supporting her. And she called me crying, and she's like, thank you so much for pushing me to do this party. She goes, it's the first time I've talked to anybody since my daughter died. So even and you know, here we are, we're like, oh, we're just throwing parties. That was the first time she's interacted. She goes, after I lost her, I've closed off. COVID was going on. I haven't talked to any of my friends. I wouldn't respond. I wouldn't reach out. This is the first time. She's like, so thank you for pushing me. And then today I got to drop off her box of free stuff. I mean, and it was such a blessing just all the way around. But I mean, who knows how we're changing people and how we're helping them, even through little things like a Facebook party. Like that meant the world to her to have people be social. And her people, okay, so the party's over, but her party group is still open. They're posting their warmers as they get them. Like, look, thank you so much. I love this. Look at this one. I mean, like they're still interacting, and it's kind of like her little support group now, which is pretty cool. So anyway, it was just such a cool Scentsy thing, which again, I wouldn't be a part of unless I was a part of Scentsy. So I hope some of that was helpful. I feel like I rambled, but I don't know if you guys have any questions or anything.
Oh my gosh, Amanda, thank you so much. And that story, like it brought me to tears. Oh my gosh, bless her heart. That is like, oh my gosh, what an amazing story. And what a great example of just something simple that we don't, that we take for granted every single day, but just, something that can bring people together. So thank you so much for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
And I wanted to add, because Amanda did not, that since she started sharing the opportunity in March, she has grown from a team of 1 to 12. And it's just, I know, it's so fun.
Who knew?
And honestly, if you were my Scentsy consultant, I'd be like, I want some of that. That's cool.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank
So
you.
positive and so like just your energy. As soon as you start talking, like just your love just comes right through the screen, and it's just amazing that I get to be part of your journey. That makes my heart so happy. But I wanted to, before I open it up for questions, I wanted to say a couple of things that I loved, and then I had one question for you if anybody else wants to chime in. First of all, I love that, like at the beginning, how you were talking about like you had a bingo party that didn't really quite go so well, and so you tweaked it and you made it work for you. And even though you feel like, you know, it wasn't successful, the success for that is, number one, it gave you practice, and number two, you never know where that seed was planted, so it may come back to you, you know, in a roundabout way. But I mean, we always need practice, right? So if nothing else, that was a good experience. And then I love that you said that you persuade them in person, because a lot of times we take no for an answer, and we don't take that extra step where, especially right now, people are craving that personal connection. So if you can give them that personal connection actually in person, masked or unmasked, it can do a world of amazingness for people, even if it's just getting them free Scentsy, you know. So thank you for sharing that. I loved your idea about the personal shopping link for the NHL ticket holders. I did not think of that. I wrote that down. I happen to know some of them myself. I did not go that avenue, so I'm totally stealing that. And then, of course, I wanted to point out the number one thing that you repeated over and over again is how grateful you are and how you express that thankfulness and that gratefulness to your customers, because I feel like that is, you know, especially in a world right now where, you know, where we are so busy all the time, you know, busy staying home and with our kids or whatever, sometimes that piece of the puzzle gets lost. And, you know, and as far as like for personal connection, number one, as far as just like how you feel personally, the more gratitude you share, the more gratitude comes back to you. So I love that you said that a few times, that that's the one thing that you stay consistent. So thank you so much for sharing that with me and us. And then I had one question, because I know that you changed the way that you worked your business in March, starting in March till now, because you have more time on your hands.
Yes.
So have you, which a lot of us do, have you thought of a way, or have you thought of what you're going to do, or how you might continue what you're doing when you actually go back to work? Because I know a lot of us are going back to work. Has this become just part of who you are, where it's just going to be that consistently, or do you have you thought of a way how you're going to be able to fit that into your full-time job, or you're just riding the wave right now? You haven't put that much thought into that.
I'm not sure, because right now one of the reasons why I have so much energy for Scentsy is because I'm not at school with the kids. Because when I'm at with the kids, I'm giving my energy to them, because that is my dream job. I feel like I was made to be a school counselor. I love my day job. So it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
But I really do want to get my Facebook parties down, so I can.
Or you can continue it while you're going back to work, because you're seeing the value in that's working your business without actually working your business.
Yes. And then I have been, and I didn't mention that, I've been using the app Cinch Share. I don't know if you guys are familiar. It does cost money. I want to say it's either $12 or $14, but you can link it to your Facebook groups. So when I do parties, I do all of my planning on Sunday, and then it posts for me throughout the week, and I don't have to think about it again except my lives.
Perfect. It's Cinch Share, Melissa, is Cinch, C-I-N-C-H, Share, one word. And there's also another app another program that's a paid program called Vizzly, V-I-Z-Z-L-E, that is very similar to Cinch Share. It is a paid, program as well. I don't know how much it is, because I also do not have it, but I know with Vizzly, now Amanda, correct me, because I don't know how Cinch Share works. With Vizzly, you can create one template, and just share that template over and over again in your groups where you don't have to recreate it. Is that how Cint Share works? It's like a one-time creation?
Yeah, because you can just like do select all and then move it to another folder. But personally for me, I don't know if it's like the counselor teacher in me, I switch it up every party. Because there's always something, there's always like a new product, or there's a new warmer of the month, or you know what, that game got really annoying because no one could guess the right number. And I had to keep going back, like whatever it was. Like there were certain things I'm like, for the love of Pete, it's 43. So depending, but I switch it up. But yes, you can do the copy and share. But I just love that I can sit down for like an hour on Sunday and then I am done with my post, and it posts for my parties.
And then do you interact, like do you create a time during the day where you're going on and you're interacting with those posts that people are commenting and stuff? But it's not, you don't have to recreate the wheel, like you're not having to think about every day what you're going to post.
And I strategically post like the guessing games and the number games, so when I can respond.
Perfect.
And I never post during my contract hours. Even though I'm not posting, I never ever want anyone to think that I am working on my Scentsy business during contract hours. So I'm very, very careful about that. So even though I'm literally posting them on Sunday, I don't start posting until after 3:30.
Okay. Well, and that's, I mean, and if you're being strategic about when you're posting as well, you know, people will start to see that pattern where they're like, okay, well, she's not posting during 3:30, and you don't want them to think, like you said, you don't want them to think that you're going on during contract hours. But then it also doesn't make them think that they have to go on at, you know, oh my gosh, she's going to post at 10 a.m. I've got to be on. So it kind of gives them some grace as well.
Yeah, that is very, very true. But Cint Share, I love it. It saves me a lot of time. And especially if I'm going to continue with the Facebook things, then that way I have it done. I can work it on Sunday in case, because when we're back at school, things always come up after school. I have teachers waiting outside my office. There's an emergency. Like there's just so much I have to deal with more. And so I do have a little more free time in that way, because like when I'm done, I'm like, and I'm done. And when I'm at school, I'm like, I'm done when the people are done needing me. Like it's different.
Right.
Oh, and then, okay, so here's a funny story. So the girl that I told you about that lives on the street, that just threw that party. So number one, I'm her child's counselor. He's like, Mrs. Bray. I'm like, hi. And then her husband goes, you're the parking lot girl at Beaux-Arts. I'm like, yeah, I'm the counselor, but yes, do I have parking lot duty? Absolutely, I do. So I thought it was so funny. I'm like,
you go the other way.
Yeah, but I was the parking lot girl, which I thought was funny. But anyway.
Does anybody else have any questions for Amanda while we have her?
Not that I have all the answers, but I know I'm short.
If there's somebody else that doesn't, you know, while we're waiting for somebody to maybe come up with some questions, I also loved the holiday shopping party. And then the top 5, you know, the top 5 under 30. I don't know why I've not thought of that either, you know, because
I think that's a good idea too.
Yeah, I loved that so much. And did you have a question, Jessica?
Not really a question, but I like the idea of coming up with a game plan for when you are working, of how to also work this, because
That's your life right now.
Yeah. So I got to figure something out, because I haven't done a party in months.
Well, probably since you moved to Texas, right? Like
yes,
a year?
Yep. Yeah, I haven't done a party at all. So if I could get on that system as well, then I think that would be easy. The thing that I have down that I think I get the most out of is placing my orders. Well, I place all of my orders myself and making that connection, and then going live. I think that's the only way that I have like a steady seeing people and them seeing me and seeing the products in real life. So I need to get a different system down. But I do know my hairdresser, every time she goes live, because she does like giveaways and all sorts of stuff for her business, she has this thing that she puts all of her clients' phone numbers in, and then it will send them a text, hey, I'm going live if you want to catch me for this giveaway, or whatever. She customizes the text every time. That would be an easy way to just notify people, along with a notification that goes out through
so there is an app, it's called Hit 'em Up, Jessica.
Okay.
You have an iPhone, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's called Hit 'em Up, and it's a mass texting app. And sometimes Hit 'em Up is like sometimes they block some people because it is a mass texting app. But what it does is it allows you to create one message, and you do send it individually so that it shows up like it texts them individually instead of like, those texts where you're texting 20 people and then all of a sudden everybody's getting like 20 replies and all that stuff. It's not that, but it's the same idea where you actually send it individually. And so it's a very quick way that you can send a ton of messages all at once because you can create it once.
Well, and I think that would be a good idea and a good way to get more people in the VIP page, to get them, if they truly are interested, clearly they're going to click on the link, and then that way they could go, you could direct it to like your page to where they could get a little bit more involved instead of just on your regular Facebook page.
So Amanda, can you share something that you are doing, because you're saying like you work your business every day consistently, but you don't work during your contractual times. I know that that a lot of people are in Jessica's situation where they do have a full-time plus job. Like I know Amanda, I said Amanda, I'm looking at Jessica. I know Jessica logged like over 100 hours in the last couple of weeks. So she's like slammed busy. Do you have anything that you can suggest to people that are working during the day and maybe just have like a small amount of time? How would you, what would you suggest maybe if they're looking at finding some sort of a system? And I know that you don't think that you have a system, but I think if you had 15 minutes to work your business, which I know sometimes we only have 15, what is it that, like, what's your go-to? Where would you start?
Yes, I like this.
Okay, so my go-tos would be to make sure my thank you cards are done, and to make sure my at least one follow-up to say thank you, do you like your products? So those are I would say my two. And I try to do Thankful Thursdays, like today. That was my goal.
Like that.
I didn't make it all. I did text people for like an hour, and then I never got to my written thank yous for my online parties yet. So that's still something I have to work on. So I try to do Thankful Thursdays and get all my thank yous out. I also try to get, like, when I get orders in, I like to give samples with all my orders, but I like samples. I know Michelle and I joke because like samples is like my happy place.
I
love them.
as well.
I love making samples. Like I've been doing the hybrid because I couldn't figure out how to get rid of the around the campfire bar. I can't do that one. But I mixed it with a Hug and a Mug. Have you guys seen this?
No.
You mix it with Hug and a Mug. So I did like a layer. I don't know if you can see it. It's
a
layer
of totally doing those layers. Yeah.
And then so it's a layer of around the campfire and then Hug and a Mug, and it smells like a s'more.
Oh, yum. I love that.
Brilliant.
So I do like, I'm not gonna say I don't like samples. I don't like making them regularly unless it's for my VIP. I do not like handing out samples to random people. I don't like making samples for that reason, but I love making samples for my customers. So, but I think it's very important to point out that you have to figure out what's going to work for you. One of the things that I like that I wanted to point out that Amanda said is that even though she doesn't think she has a system, she definitely has a thank you system that she's a habit. Yes, absolutely. She's made it a habit. Anytime somebody orders through her Facebook party, she immediately messages them and invites them to her VIP group. That's a system. That's something that is duplicatable. That's something that, eventually it just becomes a habit. That's the kind of thing that you want to think about implementing in your, how can you figure out, instead of having to sit down, even though Thankful Thursday is a fabulous idea, what if you don't have an hour on Thursday or whatever, but if you implement that system for every single order you get, this is what I'm going to do immediately, then that's a system.
And so you have some. I have that one. And in my thank you cards, I send them, so if they're not locals, I send them a little tiny felt sample. If they're not locals. If they're locals, I send them a scent circle, or if their order's over 100, I send them a scent circle. So it depends.
So another system you have, see?
Okay, I have systems. I'm sorry, maybe I was like just totally like, she's like, share your systems. I'm like, I got nothing. I'm just spinning my wheels here, people.
Melissa said that, and I agree with Melissa, which is odd. I don't know if it's because we're not from Idaho, but she said that Around the Campfire is one of her best sellers. Same with me. Like
I haven't sold a bar. I can't get rid of it.
Everybody
the one I
loves
melted.
Around the Campfire. That's so funny.
The one I melted was the one we got like as the incentive, the Grow with the Flow incentive, the free bar I got. That's when I melted down because I'm like, I can't get rid of it.
That's totally one of my top sellers. I sell at least every single order that I place. At least one person wants to smell like a campfire camping when they come.
Literally not a bar, not a single bar.
Me either. I had the one and I had to get rid of it.
One too.
Yeah, I melted it down. I literally ordered Hug and a Mug to mix it to get rid of it because I'm like, I can't look at you anymore. I can't.
Melissa also said that making samples puts her back in place when she feels scattered. So that is actually one of my tips, and I'm going to share with you next month how it is to refocus, how you can refocus when you feel like you're all over the place or when you feel like you're starting to burn out or something. Find something that makes you happy, that you can, just do it and focus, and it brings you back away from that burnout, because like a lot of times we burn out and we decide, well, I'm not going to work my business, when in actuality, something like making samples can keep you in that momentum of your business and allows you to move forward instead of taking a step back. So I love that, Melissa. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I agree. It's my happy place. Well, my love languages are acts of service and gift giving. So making samples is both.
Yes.
Because I get to make them, which is an act of service, and then I get to give them, which is my love language. Yeah, so I love making samples.
I love that so much.
But I never hand them out randomly. I'm with you. It's for my customers or one of the party people, but I don't just hand them out.
When Jessica first joined, she was really good about handing out samples to random people, and that honestly, that scared the crap out of me. I have done it, but it gives me so much anxiety where, like, afterwards I'm like, oh, I can't believe I did that, but I mean, a lot of people do that and they have no problem, but that is definitely not in my love language at all.
So I did that when we lived in Henderson. I used to do it for, like when we would do Halloween, I would go around and I would hand out like a little, like a thank you or something like that. And it had different types of waxes. And I think I still have 7 customers that still frequently order from me every month, every other month. And that's what it came from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But it was like in our area. Otherwise I wouldn't have. But
so Jessica, can you share with us, because I know a lot of people, like in some of the sample groups, they post about that wax treat thing. Can you share with us, since we are coming up on Halloween next week, can you share with us what you did and how you did that, just for some of our newest consultants, especially if they're looking at doing something for Halloween next week?
Yes. Well, it definitely takes a lot of courage for sure. But I went to the dollar store and they have these, let me grab it. Hold on. They have these little baskets, or I guess goodie bags. Let's see. So they have these little goodie bags. This is for my son's classroom and it's got all sorts of stuff. But you get like 25 for $1, and then I would make samples and then I would put just like a little saying in there. I'll have to find what I put in there, but it was like some fun little quotes, or like a thank you, or like thoughtful something, or like, I gotta find the quotes, but it worked. And people, when you go out trick-or-treating, they aren't expecting you to hand them anything. So it gets their attention and they're like, oh, what is this? It's like, oh, I just put a few things together. I hope you like it. Like, my card's in there. If you need anything, just let me know. But I noticed a lot of realtors do it. There's a lot of people that actually do it. So I do continue to have customers from it, but I don't do it anymore because I don't have time. But it was kind of nice to be like giving them, or like whoever's handing you candy, right? You give them something and they're like, oh, what's this? It's like, oh, it's something for you. Like, thank you. So
And that, I mean, and
that's what I
that's a
did.
nice way, like if you're, if you're just starting out or, you're going around to your area just to get your name out
Yes.
there if people don't know.
Yes. And I
Um,
did it to my local area, and then at that time I had just put the sticker on the back of my car. And
oh,
that's how I got, yeah, that's how I got two of my neighbors. Like I had no idea who they were. And that's how I got two neighbors, and they consistently order from me too. Still to this day. And I don't even live there.
yeah, you don't. Perfect.
So, but
That
I
sticker is
do,
gold.
what's that?
That sticker is gold. I'm going to tell you, I was
You
so
know
nervous
what?
about putting a sticker on the back of my car. So nervous because I
Oh,
thought like if I was going to cut somebody off and they were going to call me and yell at me or something like that. And when my husband drives my car and I'm like, oh my God, stop, my name's on the back. Like
yes.
it drives me crazy. But that sticker, I've gotten so many customers in my neighborhood and team members just from having a sticker on the back of my car. $20.
I will say,
Make yourself
yeah,
better.
it was definitely a cheap investment if you're willing to put it on there. I bought this new car, and since we lived in Texas, I was like, thank God I don't have my name and number on the back of my car, because there are some crazy ass people here, and as long as I live here, I will never put a sticker with my phone number and my name on the back of my car.
You can do what
I will
Melissa
never.
does. Melissa has her website on there. She doesn't have her name and her number and all that, but she does have her website and
I think
Scentsy
that's a little
plastered, like,
safer.
all over her car, her Scentsy mobile.
Yes, I think that's a little safer. I have like the license plate cover, and I have the little chrome sticker that says Independent Scentsy Consultant, and then I have like my Scentsy's always hanging from it. But I won't, as long as we live here, I will never put my name and phone number there again. Because
Oh, Melissa does say that she has her name and her number on both sides of her car. So I know, like,
oh my gosh, on both sides, she's got it everywhere.
Because she has an FJ, so she has them on the back, like the small stickers. Because in the consultant store, you can get like the big sticker and the small sticker. So she has them on the back, and then on the back of her car, she has "Love Me Some" Scentsy, and then her wheel cover. Well, no, her wheel cover is FJ, but her license plate says Scentsy. Like that's her license plate. Jason surprised her and got it. And then, yeah, it's, I personally, I'm always scared with my husband driving my car because I'm like, my name is on the back. Stop driving like an idiot.
There's a lot of people here that drive by and they look at you and they're
You're
very
welcome
crafty.
to say Scentsy, Melissa. I didn't say, okay, yeah, she's the Scentsy girl. Like, she's
That's
definitely
dedication.
If you're a bad driver, just own it. I'm not a bad driver, but nobody's ever called me or said anything. And my name is all like Scentsy threw up on my car. They've had plenty of opportunities.
There's a director who lives in Idaho. Her name is Melissa as well. Maybe it's the name, but her car is wrapped. Like the whole car is purple and white. And it says like her website is like literally the whole side of her car is all down the side of her car. So there is no questioning that she is a Scentsy consultant. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah, that is like, there are people that do that. So, I mean, if you're dedicated, that's some dedication right there. I love it though. I'm not brave enough to do that. Like I said, I don't even like sometimes I don't like having my name on the back of my car because I'm like, if I cut somebody off, I'm like, oh my God, please don't call me. Please don't call me.
That's when I know I'm driving by my friends. I'm like, there's Michelle.
Yeah.
There's Jesse. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's so cool. Like I pulled up in parking lots before and there's been like 4 Scentsy consultants and I know them all. So it's like, it makes me happy because I see people that I know and love. So before we wrap up, because it's 10 to 8.
I have a question.
You have a question. Hit it, Melissa.
Okay. Miss Bray.
10 o'clock.
My son over here is fangirling, or he's not fanboying. He's like, that's Miss Bray. What's Miss Bray doing on? Miss Bray doesn't know me very well. And now he's super embarrassed, so I'm sorry.
No, Matthew.
So my question is, the very first thing that you talked about was your bingo party. So I do bingo parties, and I find like everybody's bingo parties are different. You had said, and I really like, ding, light bulb, with this whole like new compliance thing, because all my bingo parties were out of compliance. So I stopped doing them because I was like, all I want to do is book and host. Like I want parties and I want team members. So like, I can't do that anymore. I don't want to do it. So you had said that you do 5 days of guessing games. Like, what is your template for your bingo party?
Okay, so again, I don't really have a template, but I
Yes, you
just try to,
do.
no, I try to show, well, it depends because right now that we're like, I did like a harvest template. Like, so I did
Yes,
like
a
harvest seeds.
template,
And then
like
I
template.
can share with you, I
I
don't
mean,
even know
like,
how
what
to
do
share
you do?
them.
So for, you have 5 days. What do you, so like, cause you'd said with your holiday shopping party that you do 2 lives, you do the scent and warmer of the month at the beginning, and then you do your top 5 gifts for
So that's a
holiday
template
under
for that.
$30 at the end. So that's a template.
Oh, okay. Okay, so let me back up. Then I do the first day, share basic stuff about Scentsy, like what Scentsy is, basic wax and warmer kind of stuff. And I go live and then I talk more about our waxes and our warmers, and I share the scent of the month and the warmer of the month. And I share that first because I'm going to share how to play bingo after that. And if I share the bingo stuff first, then they'll tune out and they won't watch me. So I share that first while I have them. And then I go over the bingo guidelines and I just let them know we're going to play 3 rounds at this time. Just for showing up, you get 5 numbers between 1 and 75. If they invite people, they still get 5 numbers just for showing up. So the only way they get to earn extra numbers is if they're the first person to guess correctly on my guessing games. And I have like probably 12 guess the scents, and then I have a few like guess the tester or guess how many scent circles, which I just take from the lovely Facebook group. I don't know who those people are, but God bless them for making all those flyers, because I just take. I have made a few of my guess my own scents because I had time. I was stuck at an appointment or something, so I made a few. So they get 2 points, and then when they won, I'm like, awesome, like, yep, that's the correct scent. You get 2 extra points for bingo at 6 o'clock on Friday or whatever it is. So I'm always reminding them too when the bingo game is. And then an hour before the party, I have a little Bitmoji that's like grab your favorite drink. We're gonna play bingo in an hour. And then in a half an hour, like, make sure you have something to write with. We're gonna play bingo in an hour. And then 15 minutes, like, post your most excited GIF about how excited you are about bingo. And then I go live and I chit chat about myself and how I joined Scentsy. And Michelle, I always bring you up how I got guilted into, not by you, but I'm like, for those of you that don't want to throw a party, I didn't want to either, because that's the truth. I only did it because Michelle was nice to me and I did it as a favor. I've never thrown a party ever in my life.
And look how that turned out.
Right? And so that's why I'm like, so if you said no, I get it. I didn't want to either. And I kind of tell my little Scentsy story as they're popping on and putting their numbers in the comments. And then I start bingo. So I do number, of course, like I share 4 because they have to have 5. And then I pause and share products. And then number, pause, share products. So that's kind of how I do it.
Okay.
Perfect.
And I have them literally lined up in a pile. And I tell them, a lot of them are straight up from my house. Like my Scentsy soap that's open, my dog shampoo, like my bathroom cleaner. And I only share what I like, because there's certain things I'm not a fan of. And so I only share what I like and what I use.
Well, and it shows too, if you're showing, that it's open, you're showing that, hey, I use this, and that creates that trust too. If people are saying, that's where, where you talk about being authentic and sharing products, sharing products that you're using, showing like, hey, this is open. Like I just used this last night, that's kind of, that shows. Like Amy, she actually went live yesterday. She just recently started using the all-purpose cleaner and it blew her mind. And so she went live while she was using the all-purpose cleaner. She cleaned her oven. She has asthma and she can't use a lot of cleaners. So she went live and she sold 4 all-purpose cleaners just by doing that. So showing people that you're using it, not posting a picture of it, but like, just like this is like a full thing of Scentsy soap because I use it every night,
Right.
Like that shows that you're using that. And I think that speaks louder than products anyway, that you love it enough to use it.
And it always freaks my dog out when I move his shampoo, because I take it from the bathroom and every time I do, he like looks at me like, are you going to put me in the bath? Right. Don't do it. But that's why I like the bingo the best, Melissa, because I get to show so many more products. And then like when we are in between, like if someone wins bingo, I sing to them. I do the singing, which
Oh,
yes.
yes.
I do too.
Let's hear it. What do you sing?
Oh, I do the B-I-N-G-O, 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 and you just got a bingo.
Oh, cute.
I do that with my VGK pom-poms.
Nice. Yeah. Just because I can't sing doesn't mean I won't.
Love it. Love it.
And then I show another product while we're taking a little break to get more drinks and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, if you need to go to the restroom real quick, and then I show something else. And so, but that's why I like bingo the best. But some of them are a total flop. I've had 2 where it's been like, no one shows up. And then I've had one recently where only 3 people showed up. And I'm like, well, tell you what, because you're here. If you stay on, I'll send you all a Scentsy something and I'll show you my products anyway. And they did. They
stayed on. And
They
they all
stayed
got
on.
to send something. Love.
Can you repeat what you said? Like you cut out my thing. You show them what? You give them what?
Oh, a Scentsy something.
Oh, a Scentsy something.
Because I always tell them, I go, by Scentsy law, I cannot tell you, which is just compliance, but I call it Scentsy law. I'm like, by Scentsy law, I cannot tell you what you're going to get. But if you stay on, I will send you a Scentsy something.
Okay.
And so they stay.
Perfect. Love it.
That's a good way of telling people.
For sure that they're going to get
The
something.
Scentsy law.
Yeah, by
Uh-huh.
Scentsy law.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
I would say Scentsy law, which I know there's no law, but you guys know what I mean.
There is a law.
The news tab.
Yeah.
The news tab is law.
Yeah, it is true.
Right?
It is
It's Scentsy law. It's my law, and I'm going to go by it because I like my Scentsy job.
absolutely. Absolutely. Does anybody else have anything to ask Amanda before we wrap things up for the night?
Okay, I have a really quick question. So I can't get anybody, and I mean anybody, to do a party. I have tried everything. I have begged my best friend. Nothing.
No.
No.
You
Are you
just gotta
presenting
find the
it?
right person. But
Yes.
wait for the person that like just learned about Scentsy or is like, oh my gosh, I love Scentsy. I don't have a consultant. That's your person. And then you're like,
Okay.
and I have done the, hey, I want to try something new. Would you mind throwing a Facebook party so I can try it?
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like,
And-
you for my guinea pig.
Yeah.
That's a good
Will you
idea.
help me? And they like the VIP thing, even though I didn't like how the VIP thing went, but they liked it. Cause I'm like, tell you what, I'm going to give 5 of your friends sample packs in the mail. Like, can I experiment with you? A girl I just closed her party yesterday did that, and she sold it for 5.
Yeah, no, I begged my best friend thinking she'd do it. And she goes, no, but I'll place a really big order. And I was like, thanks. That's not helpful.
So what you could do in that case, and I think Melissa was about to share this, I'm going to actually let Melissa share it because I know exactly what she's going to say. So go ahead, Melissa. Tell her what you would do in that situation.
So when customers have big orders, I tell them, well, you know what? Let me go ahead and create a link for you. This is the personal shopping link. Let me go ahead and create a link for you. And if you share it with anybody and they order with you, then you're going to get some Scentsy for free. And they're like, really? It's a party, but you're just not using the word party. People are so freaked out by that.
Yes.
So it's like you got to kind of figure out ways. It's the same with join, like join my team. People are freaked out by that. So, hey, create an account. Like create your own account, like be your own consultant. And they're like, oh, I mean, it's the same thing. It's just different. So party is a bad word. People don't want to hear that. So if you create them a personal shopping link and anytime you use it or anybody else uses it, then you're going to earn some free stuff. And then when they earn that free stuff, then I'm like, hey, you just unlocked a hostess party or you just unlocked a hostess kit. I know you're not interested, but could I possibly give it to somebody else? Because then they're like, what? What do you mean I don't want it? Like, and then they join.
Yes. It's the verbiage and like updating how you say it. Because I remember when you used to go to like Bed Bath & Beyond or like Bath & Body Works and they're like, okay, and can I get your email so we can send you promotional items? They're like, they don't say it like that anymore. It's like before they even start checking you out, they're like, what's your email? And they just slide it in because they just changed the verbiage just a wee bit. And it's like, oh, dang, she just got my email address. And I don't want to be like, oh, no, thank you. I don't have an email. I don't want coupons because you know you want the coupons. But it's just like that awkwardness of it. So changing the verbiage just a little bit. And then also instead of being like, hey, I'm looking, can you have a party for me? It's kind of like, I remember the first party that I ever went to, it was like, we're all going to go to your house and we're going to drink wine. And then it's going to be like 14 hours later and I'm ready to go home. Just let me buy my stuff so I can leave. It's not like that anymore. So instead of being like, hey, do you want to host a party? No. Change the verbiage and be like, hey, can I, like she said, just send you the link can you text it if you want to text it to anybody? Because everybody doesn't want their house to smell like whatever their house is smelling like.
Insert word here.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just changing the verbiage and be like, hey, I'm just going to send you this link real quick. If you want to send it to a couple people, see if they want to do it, change that. And kind of, instead of, hey, do you want to have a party? It's like, hey, I'm going to send this to you. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Because then it's like, you're already sending it to them. They already know it's coming. And they're not like, oh, we're going to go sit on my grandma's couch and try to sit here for 4 hours while we look at catalogs.
So you could also do something along both of those lines, is like when your best friend is Elizabeth, correct?
No, my best friend is somebody else, but I even asked.
Okay, so when when somebody like that says, I'm just going to place a really big order, what I would do is I would say, okay, cool, here's the link, and then it's their personal shopping link. Hey, you know what, if you know anybody else that might be interested in them, share your link. You can share this link with them too.
I tried that with Elizabeth and my best friend, and they both were just like, nah. So I don't know if I'm just having a hard time with it. And that, I don't know. I've even tried the different verbiage. I've even tried calling it the pay it forward. Like, I want to pay you forward because you've spent so much money with me, and nothing, no takers yet.
And what Melissa said, which I would agree with 100%, is I would send it anyway.
Okay. I do it anyway.
I wouldn't even ask. I would just tell them, this is what you're doing. And then, you know what, if they don't, you don't, because let's face it, some people, you're going to have people that fit into 3 categories. You're going to have people that are going to just be customers, then you're going to have people that will be hostesses, and then you'll have people that are going to join. And, as long as we're offering that, it's up to them to say no, in that regard. And they're allowed to say no, as you're finding. But at the same time, I wouldn't even ask. I would just send it to them. You know what I'm saying? And I would just do it. And then if they don't share it, they don't share it. But, just make that a habit of anybody that is interested in placing an order, don't ask. Just send it to them and say, hey, if you know anybody else, pass this link along. That's it.
And then you get free stuff from it.
Yeah, then you can get free stuff from it. Exactly. And I've done that with people where they are placing their own order 3 months in a row through their own shopping link. And when that gets to $200, then I'm like, hey, you know what? You've earned $20 in free product just from shopping your own party link. And they're like, oh, and they don't know that that's what it is, but they're doing that. And then it's up to them if they want to share it, but just do it anyway. That's my suggestion. That's
if you set it up for them, because they also don't know. I have a customer that orders 6 fragrance flowers a month. That's $50, and then she ordered a couple pods. That's $100. And each month because she always gets in on my orders, because she always uses those 2 things. And I'm like, hey, if you just I'll send you a link and you just do it. She's like, oh, no, I don't want to have a party. So that's what I started doing. I just started setting them aside, and then I was like, hey, I gave you a 10% coupon. Do you want to use it this time? And that was just because she did 4 orders in a row at $100. I felt guilty because I didn't give her anything back, knowing that she could have had her own party by now and free stuff. So I was like, hey, here's 10% off this order. Don't worry about shipping or anything. I'll cover it. And she loved it. Once I gave her a little bit of free something, she was like, oh yeah, I love it. I'm in.
You can even say hey, in that regard, you can say, hey, you've earned 10% off of your order, and you can just use the free product that they've already earned towards and half price item towards their, towards that particular thing. And
so it's not coming out of your pocket.
Absolutely. And, and that's really, and Melissa said that she has 2 people right now that said that they don't want to do parties, but they are doing parties, LOL, right now. So,
they don't even know it.
And they don't even know it. So it really
Good
is
job, Melissa.
About the verbiage and do it anyway. That's what I would suggest. When you're sending them a link, create a party link for them.
And
Melissa said, and they're both at $350 right now. Okay.
You can always extend the date of that party.
Yep. And it can be, you can extend it up to 90 days. So, just keep extending it if they want to keep ordering that regard. Even if she's going to place a really big order with you, create that personal shopping link, and then encourage her to continue to use that and share it with anybody if they're interested, because ultimately it's going to benefit them in the end as well.
Well,
So
and plus,
anything we
even
can
if
do to
she
pay it
does
forward.
place a really big order, if it's like say it's a $300 order, hey, thank you for doing that. Just because of the order size, now you get two half-priced items and $20 in credit. Do you want to pick out additional two half-priced items, or do you want me to give that to someone else?
Because Elizabeth alone, since I've started, and I think I've just been a month, she's spent almost $600.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, I mean, that is definitely something that you want to, do for her. And she may not even know it, but as a way of just thanking her too for her orders, create that link and say, hey, and you can even say, you know what, I really want, because you've been so awesome, I'd really love to offer you $20 in free product, or, whatever. And then she won't even realize that that's what it is.
And then you remove that element of like the party, and you're already doing it. Just like Melissa said, she's already at $350. They don't even know it, and yet they're doing it.
Yeah, because I think Kim asked about the personal shopping link, and that's, I think she had to pop off, but that's exactly what the personal shopping link is all about. It's just a party link, but you're not calling it a party link, you're calling it a personal shopping link.
It's that verbiage.
It's the verbiage. Yes. Okay. So because now it's like 10 after 8. So we've been on for a very long time. And if we're Jessica, then it's 10 after 10, and Amy as well. It's getting late. So does anybody have anything to add before we jump off for this evening? All right.
I just realized how much I need to get my life together to place a regular order. And while I'm at work.
Amanda,
if I could have somebody else doing it instead of me doing it, then that would help.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? I know. I need a wife. That's what I need.
You need a wife?
I need a wife.
One of those.
Yes.
We could all use a wife.
Right? No, I just, yeah. Let me know if you guys want what I have used on Share. I don't know if you guys use that stuff, but I'm happy to share like my guessing games and stuff, Melissa, if you want them. I can just text you the pictures so you can use them.
That would be awesome. That would be very awesome. Would you mind, Amanda, sharing that in our team page for anybody that watches the recording so that they can see those?
Sure.
And also,
where would I put them in the
just
team page?
Like as a post, just as a post, say, hey, these are the guessing games that I was talking about last night on last night's call.
Okay.
And then I can create you're an admin, so you can create a post topic of like PRV ideas or something, like whenever that, like create a post topic of maybe games or something like that so people can search it.
Okay.
Jessica, did you have a question?
I did, and then I lost it.
Oh, sorry, girl.
I know. It's gone. That's all right, though.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Amanda, and everybody that contributed to tonight. This was a lot of really good information. I know that there's a huge push for the end of the month because we have a lot of people that are pushing to promote and hit their best month ever. We've got so many people on our team that are having their best month in Scentsy history, so it's super exciting.
Michelle?
Yes, well, I am one of those people. It's super exciting. But I think that some really great ideas, especially because I know that there has been some questions like, how do you do that? So thank you, Amanda, for being brave enough to share with us tonight. I really appreciate you. And I know that a lot of other people are appreciating when they're going to watch this training too. A lot of valuable information. And yes, hearts to you. Melissa shared hearts. So yes, hearts to you. Thank you. And thank you everybody for being on live tonight. And I can't wait to see how the month ends. So I hope you guys have a good night. Yay! Bye, guys.
See you
Bye.